Yeah, I'm gonna advocate the weekend review list. A little bit.
We'll call this meeting to order. This meeting and all other meetings of this committee are open to the public. Proper notice has been posted and given to the media in accordance with Wisconsin statutes, so the citizenry may be aware of the time, place, and agenda of this meeting. Roll call shows that we are all present. We need a motion to approve our agenda for today.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Same for the minutes from our previous meeting on August 8th.
Move to approve. I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Any public comment? Jesse, anything? No, we're good? Okay. Brings us up to the vacant property in Fremont. I looked through everything, but I hadn't been able to find the actual document that would have been sent over to the town. So I was wondering, Christy, did you find that, or?
Did I share with you the minute or the resolution that was signed previously? I believe I sent that to you. I talked with Donna in Land Records and Jeremy and the Register of Deeds to kind of look back and see if they had any history on the property. They both suggest that it go to a title company to get figured out. Neither one of them are good with titles, and I don't think they have legal reasons to do it, but that was their suggestion. They didn't know about any of the probate stuff with the previous owner.
Diane, did you find anything on the probate?
I did not have time to search, nor was I clear about what my instruction was.
Okay. I don't
And
mind.
probate moved last week, so they were having
That would
some
throw,
days.
okay, that would throw a wrench in. Is that something I could just go down there and talk to them and find out about, or?
You can start.
Yeah, I don't mind taking that on, and once we have that information, then we can talk with the town chair and village president and see where they're at.
If it turns out you need to hire a title company, should we make a motion that would give him permission to do that? So that the ball keeps moving here?
I don't know what budget that would come out of, so that's.
Right,
Okay.
Let's see what we can find on our own without spending
Okay.
any money.
Okay.
And we can always revisit it.
Yeah, this is pending since the 90s, so I don't think there's an urgency.
Right.
Okay, good.
Okay, that brings us up to courthouse modernization project.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity to let me speak to you today on the progress. I do have a slideshow that we'll share here. I got lots of photos. Quite a bit has taken place since the last time we met, so we'll go ahead and get into it. If you want to go next slide, Christy. Next one.
Now, just saying that, not to interrupt, but
Sure.
I was surprised. I walked down in the basement this morning and there was a bobcat downstairs. A big hole in the front of the building that he drove down in.
That was
That was surprising.
organized chaos. Is what that is. Yeah, no.
That took me half a second to realize that you were talking about excavation.
And not an animal?
Yeah, I was like, how did you get bobcats in the
A trail camera picture.
Yeah, sorry, it's early yet.
I can help explain that. But I just wanted to keep in mind here the three things that were key owner drivers, and you can see how that plays into everything that we've been doing here still. Building security, public employee wayfinding, and clear communication on construction timing. So I think we've achieved that and communicated that to everybody throughout this process. Next slide. Okay, overview. I know it's a little bit hard to see, but since the last time we met, we can say that demolition is complete with the lower level, first level, and second level. We are still working a little bit on the floors of second level, but just grinding. And then third floor, of course, we had to wait on there in order to make the move down in the third floor folks down into the temporary courtroom that's finished. And I think that move is officially taking place next Wednesday, it sounds like.
That's the go live date.
So we do have a little bit of space up there that we're working in right now. So that works out well. But third floor is just behind a little bit there. And we have started the excavation for the new addition structure out front. If anybody has driven by the structure, you can see the canopy is now demoed. That front entrance canopy is now taken off from the building. Underground site utility tie-ins have been completed. That was a big ticket item for us. It was all the underground water, sanitary, storm. We had to reroute that in order to make room for the new addition. And that's a deep underground work, and we got that completed here the last month. So, and then you could also see in the pictures that I'm going to show you, the lower level underground plumbing is completed. So also some messy work, but we got that completed, and we're happy with the progress here. So major milestones that we accomplished: the underground site utilities being completed. The temporary courtroom was turned over technically before Labor Day on our end. Completion of the lower level underground plumbing, and demolition of that front entrance canopy has been completed. We have some upcoming milestones that are important to note. Geothermal work is going to start the first part of October. That'll be the drilling of the geothermal wells. And by the middle of October, you should see new walls being framed inside the building, create the new spaces. Next slide. All right. So current progress, construction summary here. So excavation for the new addition started this week. So that means then the next week and the week after, you'll see footings and foundations going in for the new addition. We talked about the geothermal work and the new walls that'll be framed in October. And then by November 1st, you should see the new steel for the addition being placed. So if everything goes well with that concrete, that new steel should frame out your new addition. You'll be able to see that first part of November. Got quite a bit of trades on site right now. You can see all the trades that have been here. There's been no weather delays. And if you want to go to the next slide, this is a manpower report. Really what that shows you is Myron's line is on the top there. We have the most amount of manpower. So with our demolition crew, we got a good crew working on it right now, which is using most of the hours, man hours on the project. Next in line, I believe, is Herkman and the electrician are the next two lines. So you can see they're keeping up steadily as well. So really pleased with the progress. We use this graph essentially if we're having problems with a subcontractor, we can tell just by how many guys they have on site. Maybe that's a key part of the issue that we may have, but really everybody's keeping up well on the project. Site logistics and wayfinding. So here's some examples of what we've been able to produce around the area to let the public know where they're going, which departments are where, etc. We're constantly getting feedback from Ron and Diane and Pete on how to accomplish that. This is an example of third floor. So when folks walk up to third floor, they'll be able to see when they come out of the elevators, there's their walk path into courtroom 2 or courtroom 1. And then over here, you can see everything that's under construction. So it just gives the individual an understanding of where they're standing during the construction and where they're going. So those are posted up there if you want to go to the next one. These are what we call be in the know signage. It lets you know where all the departments are now currently located. So if you're looking for a certain department, you'll be able to understand these are posted at, I believe these are going in the elevators as well.
Yep.
And so helps understand and direct people in the right path. Again, main entrance, it's posted outside. But these are the types of things that we're able to do with our sign shop and make sure everybody's comfortable with where they're going. Okay, risk and safety. So as of this month, no recordables, no reported injuries, no near misses. That's really good for the amount of work. I think you guys are going to be impressed when we show you the progress photos. that we're able to do that. We aim for 0 incidents and that's an expectation. So we're gonna keep that up. Next slide. All right, some progress photos. First 3 here are the temporary courtroom. Might be a little difficult to see there, but you can tell that's turned out very nice for being temporary. This here is image of, we have an X-ray machine that actually can X-ray the floors before we saw cut down on lower level, before we start our underground plumbing. We're able to do an X-ray of if there's any plumbing or conduits, anything underneath the slab before we actually start saw cutting for safety wise, right? So that's an image of what is produced on the floor before we start cutting. But here you can see the trenches that are cut with the new plumbing going in. It's down on lower level there. This is on lower level as well. This is me in the corner acting like I know what I'm doing. Next slide. Here we're pouring the trenches back after the plumbing is inspected. So concrete going back in on the lower level. Again, another few pictures of the trenches and the work that's taking place down there. This image here is up on 3rd floor. So we do have a start on the ceilings on 3rd floor. I know it's kind of hard to see here, but it's a similar process on all floors where we build a ramp on the inside and it allows us to put all of our demo debris into a dump cart, bring it up that ramp and out onto the scaffolding, which has got a perimeter handrail around it. And that's what this picture is here. Once you're out on that scaffolding, you can dump the debris down. What it is a bunch of 55-gallon garbage cans stuck together, and it creates a chute down to the dumpster outside. So that's a quick, efficient, safe way to get the demo from inside the building out of the building. So if you ever take a swing by the building, I encourage taking a look at that process. It's pretty interesting. Some more pictures. You can see the site's really wide open now. This is the canopy that was there at one time. This is the canopy demoed. So now that front face has been demoed off. We can make room for the new addition. This is a photo from inside. You can see the canopy structure from inside the building. Down here on the bottom level is an image of, I believe, 2nd or 1st floor. You can see those are wide open too. So quite a bit of progress has taken place on both of those floors. Okay, some more pictures of the outside. This is where the site utilities I was talking about are completed. A new fire hydrants, storm, sanitary water. These are the guys working down there at the time. That was the main entrance. You can see it's open now. This is everything backfilled and completed. Same with this down here. So happy to have that done and out of the way. All right, so that was all the progress photos. Contingency, I always give you an update on this. We had a starting balance of 1.54 and we are at a current balance of 1.56. So we're up a little bit. We were able to find some credits throughout the project. So we're actually up in terms of contingency. Do have a few things that are coming out that'll dip into it a little bit, but overall in a very good spot for the in terms of the progress on site and how much dollars we have there. So that's really the update for today. Any questions at all from the team?
Just quickly, is branch 1 officially in the basement now?
Wednesday it will be.
Wednesday.
Megan, she is located down there for the office.
Okay.
But Judge Nielsen wanted to wait till Wednesday to actually start something with the way his schedule was.
Sure. I'm in there on Tuesday. I don't know which way to go.
Christy, can you bring up on my photos ones marked branch 1? I know Luke's got pictures there, but I took a snapshot this morning because CCAP just finished up on Wednesday.
Ron, can you talk about working with Debbie Gorschels on branch 1 downstairs? Like he's.
Oh, yeah. Pat Gorchels was very involved with the setup of this. along with Judge Nielsen. He will be full-time in that courtroom. See there, you can see they've got all the microphones now installed, all the computer equipment. Judge Nielsen did a full walkthrough and very happy with the setup. He also has all of his equipment set up in my former office for his chambers, so they are realistically ready to go, but he just wanted to wait till Wednesday due to his schedule. Plus, we do have to test the Zoom capability on the TV in that room. But Pat Gorchels was very involved in all of this setup. We did have those little temporary barriers there. He had us change that up a little and bolt them down. I believe Pat's gonna have a desk in the office area, which is the door on the left there in the picture. That's where Megan, the JA, and the court reporter are. Pat's gonna be located right in there. Outside, they have a plan for, on their busy days when it's intake, we're gonna line the hall with benches out there because the seating area in this courtroom is very limited. But Pat Gorchels and also Andy Thorpe were down there going through all the planning for that. So I think they do have a good plan in mind. We just got to get all that stuff moved down from 3rd floor Monday. So they're ready to go.
The rest of them are back on Monday. Huh?
All my guys' backs.
Mm.
It's been a lot of moving.
And then one last question. I've actually been super impressed with the progress made. I'm at the courthouse probably every other day-ish. Are we expecting it to slow down with winter? Or are we just kind of, once winter hits, we're just all inside, working on the inside? Or is there gonna be any slowdown with the seasons?
No, it'll stay consistent. When you're inside, obviously, there'll be quite a bit of work going on, but what we do on the outside is create an enclosure all the way around the new addition. So it's heated. It'll have some visqueen around, probably with scaffolding, and so it's all enclosed so that we can continue working on the addition under temporary heat.
Oh, and Judge Klussman said, keep it down, it's loud.
She's
That's
on
one of our
vacation.
topics.
I know. I was in there, just I'm like, Your Honor, I'd like to. Here we go. This is good.
You know, we try our best there, and
There's nothing you can do.
Big
It's an
thing is-
impossible situation. I was just
yeah,
laughing. I'm going into this sensing argument, just like, here we go.
we do talk every week with the judges' calendars, and we share that, and the teams just got to get it done at some point. So we try to work around the best we can.
Yeah, Diane's been sharing the court calendar with Ben. Just so they're aware of when there's.
I mean, I was more or less just giving them a hard time.
Yeah.
I get
No,
it.
it is. No,
You know, the good part is a good chunk of that demo is completed. So now, once 3rd floor is out of the way, we'll be able to start building back new, and that's a lot less quiet.
Yeah.
Luke, can you talk about the geothermal?
Sure. So geothermal will come in. I think we have 70 plus wells to drill. It takes about a day per well. So they'll be here for a while, in beginning of October. If they bring 2 rigs, they could get done faster. They are gonna be going 6 days a week. So we'll have Myron coverage on site every day. So really, it's a messy process, but they do need to take that time. The drilling is what takes the most. They're going 500 feet, 70 plus times, so it takes a while. Anything specific that
So you'll
we're-
see that, and you're gonna start soon, you know,
Sure.
early, a couple weeks, and then it's gonna go through into winter.
Yeah, so faster we can get them out, the better, but
Once they start a hole, they can't stop until it's done.
that's right,
Yeah.
yep. So,
we
but
got one hole already.
that's right, yeah. So, no, we're moving right along and feel comfortable with where we're at.
And then the crack in the floor, that has to be.
Yeah, so as we demoed some of the ceilings, we had noticed some cracking in the precast. planks, existing planks that were there, and you know, that it's hard to tell if that happened, you know, it could have happened when they were first installed, but there is a resolution for it that we're working through to make sure that those are taken care of and addressed. So we're gonna be patching those, I believe, in the proper way. So
So getting back,
they're really like hairline cracks, but you wanna be safe.
getting back to the wells, so they use water to flush the material out of the hole. Is there gonna be an issue with all this water?
No,
It's gonna get out of the way for you, or?
yeah, it'll, so it is a little messy when they do it, but there's also dewatering process in place as well, so, you know, as it comes out, we're cleaning it up right behind themselves, so, there's a little trick to the madness of how it goes. So, but it is a messy process.
And this was the first week really where restrooms were limited to what they're gonna be for the rest of the phase one.
Yeah.
So they shut down the public restrooms on the third floor and the hallway restroom that was by the child support agency, so.
Yeah, that happened Monday. Originally, that was gonna happen a lot earlier, but with that big court case, we were able to kinda hold back on that a little bit until all that was done.
Sure, yeah.
And then as a user of the building, I think the one incident that Ben reported was a pipe got hit on a Thursday
Oh,
On second floor. on second floor, and then the decision was made to shut off water to some of the third floor over the weekend, and just sort of fix it. Ron, you can explain this more, just do the right fix.
Yeah, it kind of happened end of the day type thing, and they stopped the water from leaking. They had to shut some water down, but the thought was to get it fixed properly. They were willing to do it on the spot, but they said, could this be something that we could just hold off till Monday morning? And then I said, fine, we can get by. I mean, there's still water, there just wasn't hot water for that period.
It was just a 3/4 inch line, right? It was
Yeah.
a smaller line, yeah,
Yeah.
that was happened during demo. We were able to get that patched up.
And really, with all the demo going on, I feel like that's gone very well. I almost expected more issues, but we haven't had them.
Agreed. Agreed. So get over that hump and we'll be all set.
And then Ron, you also found a little space of more asbestos that needed to be mitigated.
Yeah, first floor, there's 2 small spots that when they were pulling up some of the other flooring, they found some more of that black adhesive that has the asbestos in it. And I already contacted that Dirty Duck, so they're aware that when they come back, they're gonna do that additional couple spots.
Doesn't affect the schedule at all.
No.
Any other questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh,
Let's see, courts carpeting is,
Yeah, so
we touch on that?
what we found, I was going through a lot of the moving on third floor with Ben, doing a walkthrough for the courtrooms. Cause we do have to move quite a bit of stuff out of the courtrooms when they do their work. And they are gonna be pulling up the pews in the courtrooms while they're doing their work and just moving them off to the side. And the discussion came up, I asked Ben about the carpeting, and come to find out it wasn't in the scope of work to replace the carpeting. Basically, they were just gonna do all the ceiling work, new lighting, new HVAC work. But after realizing that, I did go up and take some pictures because the carpeting that's in there is original carpeting to the building. Is it terrible, maybe not terrible, but it definitely is gonna need replacing in the very near future. And the thought is, if they're removing the pews and all that during this, really, now's the time to do it. I did take a few pictures, and it's very hard to see on the screen. It's a lot worse looking in person, but there's quite a bit of wear spots. There are some stains that we have tried to get out that just won't come out. Maybe with a professional it would, but still that's not gonna fix all the high traffic areas where there's a lot of wear. The thing is, this wasn't in the scope of work, so I did talk to Ben about it. And he had said that we can have the flooring company that we're using, which I can't remember the name of them.
HJ Mark.
Yeah, and have them do a walkthrough and some measuring and come up with some pricing, because you could do this later if need be, but it's gonna cost much, much more, because they're gonna have to remove all those pews and jury chairs and things like that to do it. So realistically, even though there is a cost to it, now is the most, efficient way to do it is to do it now. Plus it would be another issue with having to, close the courtrooms down for a while. So realistically, it would be in best interest to just take care of it now, but we have to get that pricing back still to really further the discussion of how we're gonna fund it, basically.
Could the contingency fund be sourced for that?
And that would be a question of how the best way to do it. Now, we have the county contingency, but I don't know if that could be added to the,
It's something that could be discussed.
Yeah.
I think we start with what it's gonna take price wise, and we can go from there.
It's large spaces, so
It's
Yeah.
Not
it's
cheap.
huge.
Yeah. And that's the thing, we really don't know until we get that number back. I know that Foundry building, that was roughly just over 50,000, but this is the 3 courtrooms, and branch 2 was, branch 1, that had carpeting changed back in our last project. Branch 2 still has the original, actually that is branch 2's office area right there. And I did talk to Judge Klessman too, and she's, obviously said, it'd be a shame to put all this money into remodel and have people walk in and see carpet like this. But really, there's not much we can do until we get that pricing back.
What's the turnaround on that to get that number?
I've got to talk to Ben on that.
And we have time to, like, next month, if it comes in by then, to,
I would hope by then
Yes.
I can come up with numbers by then.
yeah, it's the way we gotta start there.
Yeah.
How much,
Yeah.
how much is it gonna cost, and then we'll figure out if we can.
Yeah.
Pull it from somewhere.
Just want to have it on the radar with everyone at this point.
Okay, and that brings us to updates on department relocations.
Okay, so just this week, can't remember how far I updated you on the last meeting. We have 3rd floor now. We moved clerk of courts. They're all up and running. 3rd floor got a little difficult because a lot of it involved working with CCAP with the state, getting them scheduled. Clerk of courts is all moved into the old vet's office and DA conference room. We did move probate down this week to the lower level, right next to where finance and HR is. They are all up and running now with CCAP. previously, we moved Child Sport. I think I might have updated you that last month. They are located on second floor, back area of the courthouse, the far northern area, along with Diane. Diane's on second floor now. Corp Counsel, they are in Diane's former office on third floor. So working east, branch 2, we moved them Wednesday as well. Their Jesse and their office is moved to branch 3 office with Michelle in that office area. CCAP has all that completed. Megan and the court reporter for branch 1 are already located in the basement. Judge Nielsen is still operating out of branch 1 until Wednesday is the plan. So really, by the end of next week, everyone should be in their permanent spots. Well, permanent temporary spots. Then it's a matter of, our staff still has to move a lot of furniture out of those spaces. We were just concentrating on getting the people up and running. But we probably have another week of emptying out a lot of furniture, which I don't know if you've been in the sheriff's basement lately, but it's packed. We're packed to the gills down there. But that should be everything on relocations. Of course, Jesse was the very first to move. How's it working out there?
It's not ideal, but we're making it work for now.
Everyone's
Temporary, and we're very grateful for what we have. Yeah.
Everyone seems to be fairly happy with their spaces. Are they ideal? No, but they're making the best of it because they know it's got to be done. The big thing was Monday when we shut the bathrooms down on the third floor. Obviously, not a lot of people happy about it, but everyone was aware of it and we're making do. That was kind of a big thing.
Did they ever fix the cell phone issue? 600?
We currently have Wapaka Online in there. Now we just have to get that booster installed from FirstNet. But they do have the Wapaka Online internet in there now. With FirstNet, they do have a solution for that. The problem is we had the county network in there, and that's not something that IT was comfortable connecting. They don't want anything connecting to the county network. There was some cell phone booster ideas for in there, but those had quite a cost to them. It was pretty close to $8,000. The other option was we just decided to put Wapaka Online in there for $69 a month. And then they can run off that Wi-Fi, and FirstNet has a solution to connect to that Wi-Fi that can boost the cell phones. And that wouldn't have a monthly charge attached to it. So we're very close on that. I'm just basically waiting for FirstNet to get back to us on that to figure out the install of their booster.
Any other questions?
Ron, the furniture that you're putting in the basement, is all of this gonna get reused? Or have you been sorting through the stuff that's bad and getting rid of it right away, or are you gonna do that later?
The stuff that's bad, we've been getting rid of. There's a lot of furniture down there, and are we gonna save all of it? Maybe not. We're gonna use what we can, but there's some that's questionable that we decided we'll just save it anyway. There's been a lot of furniture over the years that we've kind of cobbled together. You know, take tops off a different desk and put it on the lift desk.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the lift desks now, if you walk around in the older areas, we basically put it right under. When it lifts up, it's lifting the cabinets with it. It's not that great, but we're saving stuff just in case it's needed. So at the very end, and I know Pete has reached out to, I believe, auction.
Levy Auctions,
Yep.
Once, Ron has everything marked that he wants saved, he'll come through and give us his professional opinion on if it's worth even trying to sell it, or if it's just junk that nobody will get any money, or it'll cost us more money, to try and sell it. So.
Yeah. And with the stuff we used to auction off in the past with the state auction, we found that, you know, the money you're getting for that stuff, you might get $5 for a file cabinet. Well, when you figure it all out, we're losing money because I'm paying my guys more than we're getting back by just getting rid of it.
But we'll see. If we can squeeze $1 out of it, we will.
Yep. Yeah.
Anything else? Any other questions? Okay, brings us to the courthouse security. The stuff we got this month, I think it was all added. Couple of unnecessary ones slipped in there again, like extra patrol type stuff we don't really need to know about. But there wasn't too many calls for service to the courthouse or to the 600 building. So I think we're doing okay, and we'll just keep monitoring it like that, do the best we can.
And I'll add that on Tuesday at County Board, there will be more information provided from, I think, the sheriff and the judges. They do have a presentation they're gonna kind of give to the full board, so everybody gets the same information at the same time.
And then I think the 3 positions that the judges have requested for have passed through all the budget process to be implemented. So that's a positive step, I think. That's all. Anybody have anything else on that or questions? Okay. You're up, Ron.
Okay, maintenance updates. Obviously in the courthouse, we don't really have anything other than the construction. One thing we do have upcoming in the sheriff's department is fairly soon, we're gonna be doing a little bit of concrete work out in the front entrance area. Some of the sidewalks are in rough shape. Also, the highway is gonna come in. There was a cement sidewalk that went from the front entrance up to the roadway sidewalk that has gotten crumbled over the last couple of years. And the highway is gonna come in, dig that cement out and just asphalt over it. The main thing is concern for the snow plows. We don't want it to damage the snow plows. But that should be happening, I'm guessing, in the next couple weeks. We did have a little bit of a issue going on right now with plumbing. We have one pipe that's plugged up between 2 employee restrooms in the jail area on the first floor. We did everything we could to get it unplugged. We did have to call in Woolsey Plumbing, and they came in and tried to basically same things we did, but with better equipment. They weren't able to do it either. They are coming back, I believe, today, this afternoon, to relook at it. They might have to bust out a little bit of concrete to get at the plumbing behind the wall to do it, but it's being taken care of, but obviously it's not something that we were expecting. I don't expect it to be big money. It's not an issue, but that's gonna be something that's gonna be going on. Other than that, it's just the day-to-day stuff, and usually we keep 2 staff in the jail daily, and then the guys in the courthouse. We've been kind of stealing one of the staff in the jail for helping with all the furniture moving. It's definitely been quite a challenge. I'm glad it's getting to the end, but I think when we get back to the fact of phase one finishing and having to set up for phase two, knowing that Myron's gonna be waiting on us to get over to the other side of the building, probably gonna recommend bringing in a couple part-time limited term guys to help because after this first move, we realize it's a lot more than we ever expected. And if we are on a short time frame with Myron to get all that moved, we're gonna definitely need help. I got on maintenance updates unless you got any questions.
So the transitional move from phase one to phase two, what do you, is that like you're thinking 2-week process or 3-week process?
That's a good question.
How fast do we gotta get it done so
We
you
have
can?
4 to 5 weeks in the schedule right now
Yeah.
accommodated for it. And obviously, as you've seen when we started phase one, if there's anything, that lingers on, we can work together to get that done. But 4 to 5 weeks is what we have penciled in for that transition.
And the good thing is, once we get to phase two, the finance area and public health is very minimal what's gonna happen there. And the phase two is definitely a smaller area. You're looking at roughly 1/3 of the building
Yeah,
versus
1/3.
2/3. But it'll have to happen fairly quick. And at the same time, we're gonna be moving that temporary courtroom into the new county board area, so there'll be some scheduling with CCAP along with the other areas as we move people back. CCAP's gonna have to come back for that.
Would phase two be kind of, like not all at once, like kind of rolling in, like maybe one level would be done so they could start moving on that before they move into the next level? So kind of a
Intention is
slow
to
rolling.
have that 1/3 all together, so it's kind of a
All in
let's
one shot.
transition all in one shot.
Okay.
Is what we're planning for. And that 4 to 5 weeks is built in because we knew it was gonna take some time, so.
But the quicker we get it done, the better, right?
Correct.
And realistically, if you think about it, as you move people in from out of the phase two area, we don't realistically have to move, say, everyone from DHS back before they start. We can just, after we clear the areas out of phase two, we could then feed more people back into the phase one area. So really, it's just the priority of the, just for example, on third floor, the DAs, corp counsel and clerk of courts, they'll all have to shift. And then we could worry about the other people after the fact.
Yeah, they don't have to be moved back in before
Yeah,
Myron gets working on their stuff.
I'm still looking for a home.
I don't have a phase two home either.
I'm working on it in my mind. I gotta talk to John Francis about it. Cause I was almost thinking keep you on first floor, and if John could stay off site a little longer, we could put you in by land and water. That way you've got like a front counter area.
What's his favorite candy bar?
I'm not sure.
Snickers.
Universal.
Okay.
Some of the other departments too, like Diane's, could we move her into some of the remodeled space and leave human
Check.
services where they're at until it's all
all
done
done.
and then
Yeah.
shift? I mean,
And realistically, the DA, they need a fairly big area. My initial thought is, the remodeled area where UW would end up.
Yeah.
Keep UW offsite a little longer.
to me, that just makes more sense
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Try and shoehorn them into something when the space is available.
And say child support, for example, they'll be in the remodeled area. They can move right in their new area.
That's all.
The Foundry's given us such a wonderful deal on the use of that building that
Yeah,
we don't have to be worrying about getting out of there in a hurry.
no, they've been super helpful over there. and it's going fairly well. I mean, you're gonna have some people that aren't real thrilled about their spaces, but I even was over there last week, when I met with PACA Online, and I was walking through and I was talking to a few of the ladies, and I says, you don't realize how good you got it over here. It is so quiet. It's very nice.
Okay, now on to the fun stuff, Ron. The Proposed budget.
Budget stuff.
Yep.
Why is there so much red, Ron?
Huh?
There's so much red in
I just wanna say, this is the very first year that I'm coming in over budget.
I'm just kidding you.
And I know
We all know why.
this year I know is a very big challenge budget for 2026. But Heidi's got the layout on the first page, but that can get a little confusing, so I like going through from second page on because it breaks it out. So anything in red is an increase. And you notice right away that first page, that is Public Property Committee. So in the past, we used to carry a $5,000 budget just for whatever may come up that you decide if you're gonna spend money on. Now, all the highlighted things in the red for next year, basically, if you look at the 2025 amended budget, that was all money put in for all the offsite spaces like Foundry and in New London. That covered the carpeting for the Foundry building and all the other numbers that we did. Now, everything is done, but talking to Heidi, I said realistically, we still need money in there for next year because we just don't know what's gonna come up that would be on us to cover and not the Foundry. So the first item, $10,000, that is contracted services, which basically initially was put in for the IT equipment, getting the fiber and everything installed. I talked to Heidi. I said realistically, we should keep something in there to cover whatever may come up. We have a contract with garbage. There may be other things we did. That's where we used some money when Highway was fixing some of the parking lot. Originally, I was gonna put $10,000 in there, but I went back to Heidi after the fact and said realistically, what we have in there from 2025, I'm guessing to have 10,000, if not more, left at the end of this year. So she agreed to just non-lapse that and keep it in there at $10,000. That way we're not adding an additional 10. So that's gonna fluctuate a little. I don't know if she actually did that yet because that was earlier this week that we thought about that item. Then you go down a little more, we've got obviously water and electric. That's both covering Foundry and the New London building. So just under contracted services, that's over 30,000 right there. Just below it, $15,000 repair maintenance. That would cover any work down there that our staff would have to do if they had a plumbing problem that we had to fix or really anything. If we have to have JRs come in and work on some locks, 15,000, I said to Heidi, I could lower that a couple thousand. She said, well, just put it in for now. Then below that, we've got the fixed charges, that's insurance. Last year, Heidi put in 18,000 and it did come in higher. So next year, 22,000, that's gonna be a charge that'll come through. So typically, if you look at 2025 for public property, normally would be $5,100. It's up to over 67,000. So that's where the majority of this big increase is coming.
Ron?
Yeah.
Can any of that be charged back to the project?
It can, and that's gonna reduce the project budget. So that's something I could talk over with Heidi if it could be done that way. Cause we know we're on a crunch on the budget, hoping to save the contingency to cover furniture or anything else, possibly carpeting, things like that. But it could be,
I realize this is taken out of one pocket, but the other,
yeah.
but I can look at, make it look better.
Yep.
in certain aspects, so that's the reason question. Thank you.
So then below that, we get into jail maintenance. Personnel services, that I can't mess with those numbers at all. Heidi sets all those. Just below it, contracted services. The elevator contract last year or this year, we were at 9,500. That did go up. So I am gonna be slightly over this year, which I'm not worried about. I've got coverage in other areas. So I did up that $2,000 for next year. And flip the page. Next item highlighted would be electric. I did up that $2,000. That's a real unknown. I'm just guessing. Every year the electric goes up. How much it's gonna go up, I'm not sure, so I just added a little bit there. The next highlighted item in yellow, repair, maintenance, entryway. That covers all the rugs throughout both buildings and uniforms, cleaning rags, things like that. I actually lowered that 1,000 because I feel we have a new company now and I did get the price lowered on that, so I'm able to cut that back a little. Next one, UPS system highlighted in yellow. I just dropped it $300. I know that it'll cover next year. I know it's not a big item, but every little bit helps. Then below that in red, the generator contract, I upped that $300 because this year their prices went up. This year we paid $13.73. Next year, quite possibly, it might be a little higher, so I upped it a little bit. So for contract services, we did have an increase of about $3,000. Then below that, supplies and expense, $2,500 increase on repair maintenance supply. That covers basically all of our day-to-day repairs, things we have to purchase for that. In the jail, we did notice that since it was built in 2001, those numbers are starting to increase now. This year, we are really gonna be cutting it close of possibly going over on that line item. Still not a big concern, but I just wanna add a little more there. So that brings the supplies and expenses up 2,500. Below that, fixed charges, property insurance, general liability insurance. I did have to up those. That's another one kind of out of my control. Heidi gives me the numbers and this year came in a little higher than expected and quite possibly next year as well. Then we get into courthouse maintenance, skipping the personnel services, which that's all pre-entered. Next page. Going down to the first highlighted item, that's the elevator contract, just same as the jail elevator contract. There's been increases there, so I wanna make sure I have enough in there. I upped it 1,500. Below that is refuge collection. I did up that 1,500 as well. This year, with all the stuff we're getting rid of, we've kind of added that to our garbage that we're getting picked up. There's been more garbage. We have had dumpsters too that we've charged to the project, but I just wanted to add a little bit there. Just below that, heating costs, gas. After looking at where we're at this year, I felt that I could drop that down about $2,000, especially when a lot of the buildings not gonna be used this winter. I'm not quite sure how that's gonna work out, but I'm assuming we'll use less. Below that, water and sewer, that as well, we're gonna have a lot less water use, so I dropped that down a bit, $2,000 there. Below that is the electric, which I just added $1,000 just to give a little cushion in case of any increases there. So I am trying to find, so if you go above first highlighted in red item, that elevator contract, just a couple items up, you could see the janitorial contract. I really talked to Heidi on this because I did get a decrease with 2/3 of the building not being used right now. This year we'll have a little left there, but I talked to Heidi and I said, what's the best way to handle that? Next year it's gonna change a little because now they're gonna have to change their price again. I could technically drop that probably $20,000, but then again, the following year, I'm gonna have to ask for it all back. And, you know, if we're in just as much of a crunch 2 years from now and I gotta ask for additional $20,000 or $30,000 for cleaning, Heidi said just leave it in there as is. We could fudge around with that if need be. I was gonna meet with Heidi next week to kind of talk about it, because I know we're really looking to, you know, come up with some cuts wherever we can. So there is potential there, but it would just have to be known that at some point we're gonna have to ask for it back. And if we go back down, that next highlighted item would be $2,000, parking lot, snow removal. Price of snow removal, even with highway doing it, it's a crapshoot, really. You never know how much snow you're gonna get. But last couple of years we've been cutting it close, so I did add a little bit there. Below that, $200 on the generator contract. I just did a minimal add to that, just because I know their prices are going up as well. So under the contract services line, it's $2,200 once you offset the couple deductions I did. Below that, supplies and expenses. The only thing I did add was on the janitorial supplies. I upped that $1,000. So under supplies and expenses, that's $1,000 up. So next page, we've got the property and vehicle insurance, just slight increase on that as well, which brings the courthouse maintenance an increase of just over 39,000. And if you go to the bottom of the page, they still have Lakeview in there. I'm not sure why, but Heidi did zero out those couple items to zero for next year. So if you look at the maintenance totals down the bottom of the page, it comes out to be 115,845 increase, which comes to 7%, which the big part of that is the just over 67,000 on public property part, covering all the off-site locations. So it looks bad when you look at the number, but we gotta be able to keep those offsite locations up and running. We could cut those down some, but I'd hate to come back next year and say, hey, I need another $5,000 because something big came up. But it's kind of just a guessing game. Then on the last page, Heidi has the outlay for CIP projects. So basically, we cut all of our CIP items out except for the jail roof replacement, which after working on our current project, realized that with that roof replacement, it would be higher than expected originally. So we added 100,000 on that. That is slated for next year. But I am gonna speak with Heidi Tuesday when she's back on that as well, because knowing where we're at with next year's budget, this isn't a dire emergency item. I could get by with probably $1,000 of just a little patching here and there. I could easily push this off another year. It will have to be done, but does it have to be done next year? No. So that'll be something Heidi can put her 2 cents on, because I know we're looking for some pretty big numbers for next year. So that's where I'm at.
So how old is the roof at the sheriff's department? Is that
2001.
5 years.
25 years? So it's
Yeah.
closing in on its.
We have
useful
gotten
life,
spots that have popped up here and there where you have a drip on a real heavy rain. We've patched them, kept them under control.
Is there a rubber roof? Or?
No. It's that black, like asphalty looking material. So does it have to be done? Yes, sometime, but it's not like, oh my God, you know, we gotta do it like right now. And realistically, thinking about it, probably be a heck of a lot easier when Myron's a little more out of the way. Because they're gonna be working right on top of each other.
Well, I was just wondering, is that something that we can look at kind of post courthouse renovation, at least a large lump of it? I mean, nothing is shocking that these numbers go up when you're
Yeah.
so hand in hand with the courthouse renovation project. I mean, this is to be honest with you, I'm actually impressed the numbers are as low as they are. I mean,
I'm not happy. I've never gone over.
well, but, I mean,
Out of control, pretty much.
well, and I think Dave kind of touched on this too. I mean, a lot of this is tied to the renovation.
Yeah.
Right? So I mean, it's robbing from Peter to give to Paul. But I mean, have we tapped out every penny in the renovation budget? Is this?
That's where we're working on right now. I think
Yeah.
we're at 18% of funds spent.
Yeah, when we get to 15% or 50% of completion, then they release half of the contingency back to us, because it's our money.
Because it just seems to me that this is, I mean, basically you in a parallel pot to that renovation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, not that, changing the label of where the money is does anything. But it does when you're trying to label where the money is and why it's increasing.
Yeah.
I get, like I said, Ron, I know you probably did not wanna go through this. I think you did a wonderful job. I think you've done a great job being realistic with it. But I mean, I think that the backup for this increase in expenditure should be, step one, look at this renovation
Yeah.
pile of money first before we make cuts elsewhere. I mean, is everyone else kind of on the same page with that too?
Yeah, and going back to that contracted janitorial services, which we're pretty sure we aren't gonna need all that money. You got a little cushion there and that'll help us come in under otherwise. I know it's not a huge amount, but
No, I mean, it definitely helps, but I always love going through it line by line, but the most important number is the one at the end, right?
Yeah,
You
last
know.
page.
And we can parse out all the little stuff, but it's the 115 and where it varies from there up and down. I mean, we're looking at, when Myron was talking about that contingency fund, just went up 20 grand,
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
so obviously that's going to be depleted at some point. I'm not gonna get my hopes up, like, oh, it's gonna keep increasing. No, it's not.
Right.
But I mean, this is compared to that contingency fund, really a drop in the bucket if you really.
Yeah.
So I mean, if we're careful with that, this all works. Is that kind of
Right.
the vibe everyone else has with it too?
What we're looking at too is the furniture budget, using some of that contingency fund. If we can save enough, we will have enough for the new furniture that's needed.
Yeah.
But that's taking into account Ron saving as much as he can.
And then there's the
We
carpet
already
too.
have. That's and it just, for efficiency's sake, if the pews are already out, that's the time to recarpet it.
Yeah.
I think everyone agrees with that. The concern is writing checks that can't be cashed.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone, this is the same conversation I had with my fiance, soon to be wife. Yes, it'd be wonderful if in the name of efficiency, if we could just redo the basement in one shot. Unfortunately, I don't have that kind of money to do that. So I think it's good to look at, while we're in there, we can do X, Y, and Z, but it's keeping an eye on writing checks that can't be cashed. We gotta keep it tight. And I think we're on pace, but you never know with this stuff. You never know.
Right, and like the cracks in the concrete of the floor, that was something that nobody expected, but we gotta fix it. It's not a huge expense, though. They can get it done relatively quickly, and they wait like a week or two for the epoxy to cure, and then the floor is solid and
So what Luke didn't really dig into that very far. What they do is those Spancrete, they have like cores, like round hollow areas through that. And what they do is they go on each end of it and drill, and they pump it full of this epoxy. So it's not a super labor job, but obviously there's gonna be a little cost.
So that hollow space gets filled with something to strengthen.
Sure, exactly.
Mhm.
And then really this far into demolition, to see that contingency hasn't dropped, it actually increased a little, but it's
It's a good sign.
a good sign. I mean, we know there are a couple little things coming, not major, but to be where we're at right now, I feel very good about it.
One last question, thinking about the courthouse project as a whole now with this, there are some add-on alternatives. For the carpet money, do we look into dipping into the add-on alternatives to cover, like, axe and add-on for carpeting?
No, that's the add alternates were side projects,
Sure.
like having a brick building around the secure parking lot.
Right,
So
right, but if we give up hope on that,
right,
Right.
all of those.
do we find any money for carpeting, which I find to be more pressing?
Well, that's where all of that is done. That was all in the contract process, the add
Sure.
alternates. So now what we look at is the contingency fund. Do we use contingency to pay for that
Okay,
carpeting?
so it's a contingency money that would go to the ad alternates but we could also pull for carpeting. Remember, Ron,
It's just the timing of it, it's a little early to start pulling from the contingency fund.
I get it, but what are you gonna do with carpeting?
I know,
Cause you know, I think that that's a correct statement, be like, oh, nice courthouse renovation with the coffee stains from, yeah. I'm not gonna throw Judge Hoffman under the, but Judge Hoffman era and branch, especially spilled the pot of coffee, right? It'd be really a shame to spend about 35 million to have raggedy carpet and go, man, we really crushed this project.
Right. And it's something, we have a little time yet to think about. Once we get the numbers in, and be able to talk about it a little bit.
Sure.
Bit better, but, the judges' chambers, how many people really go through there?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Only when I'm getting yelled at. Peter.
yeah. I know, I've been.
I'll see you in
I've-
chambers, go, oh God.
I've been back there
This is
too.
worse than the principal's office, this is not good.
Do not lean on the light switch.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's where that type of money would have to come from now, is the contingency fund. Or do we push it off, because of the situation we're in, so.
Well, because the dog chasing its tail again, you push it off to spend more money, you rip the hose up again.
Yeah.
And then you have to delay some of the courtroom being used as well.
I hear you, and
Yeah.
I think the carpeting is pressing, I think it'd just be a shame.
Yeah.
To drop all this money in a courthouse.
It'd almost be embarrassing.
To be honest, I said like 35 million, your carpet looks like crap, then what were we doing here?
And then
What did we do?
if we replace it, then the goal, the original goal of having a building that can be lived in for the next 40 years is met. It still falls within that goal we set 8 years ago.
I guess I'm losing all hope on alternatives, but I mean, you asked me whether I want a nicer canopy up front or carpeting.
Well,
I think
we found enough money to do the canopy.
Okay.
But
Well, I'm just using that as an
Yeah,
example.
but everything else is off the table now.
Yes, I mean, this carpet, I really think it would just be what a
Yeah.
disaster.
Yeah,
Let's find some carpet money, guys.
well, we gotta find out how much we have to look for.
Well, and then, but like I said, the only reason I bring that up is, Ron, the budget here, of course it's up, you're in the middle of probably one of the most extensive projects of your career.
Yeah.
right.
Duh, but it's just, if our piggy bank is, 1.5 that's sitting.
Yeah.
We gotta be careful with what we're doing. with that.
Actually, if you look at that 60-something thousand covering off all the offsite stuff, then my budget's not looking too bad.
No, but I mean, and that's what I'm saying, is it's like, the stuff we had to do to accommodate is dinging your budget, when in reality, it's not your fault or anything you
Yeah.
did, because you've been doing, it's actually impressive, it's not higher, right? So it's just, where, if you're taking the ding in your budget for renovation issues, then can we go into the renovation budget to help patch that's my whole point.
Yeah.
Right. But I think,
Hey, can I say something?
yep, go ahead.
When I saw on the agenda here that Ron was gonna be here with a budget, I thought, oh my God, how can he really, well, he's got numbers obviously, but with so many unknowns and in construction going on, I give you a lot of credit for just coming here with a paper like this, because we all know
Hey,
that
those
when-
numbers are
when
right.
everything going on the way it is, that had to be the most difficult thing for you to sit down and figure this out.
Yeah.
And hopefully comes out the way you like it, but
Hope so.
it's still a whole list of unknowns. I think you did a hell of a job here doing this. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
See how it goes next year.
Yeah, there you go. Good.
So if everybody is in agreement that this is what we want to pass on to finance, the budget. Just the heads up. Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, it moves on to finance. But just a heads up, for those of you who didn't watch the finance meeting.
I wasn't able
You
to be
should.
there, unfortunately.
But it's gonna be, we're gonna be looking at, mostly the three big, departments. Human Services, Sheriff's Department, and County Highway. Cause we can't do it with what everybody wants, we can't do it all, so finance is gonna have to go through it. Department heads have been, have received an email saying, hey, you better go back and look at this, see what you can do to make it better, and if not, finance is gonna be the one to cut the budget to the bone.
And like I said, next week I am talking to Heidi about that roof thing.
Yeah.
It'll still have to be in the near future, but if it can help next year, that very well could be. And there may be a couple things I could cut lower if it comes down to that, but the roof thing should be able to help somewhat.
Yeah.
Let's get a piece of chewing gum.
Yeah.
But like a roof, most of us have owned homes and stuff.
Yeah.
It gets to a point where you gotta do it,
Yeah.
25 years, we're getting to that point where it's gonna have to be done, but if we can squeak it out a year or two, that would
Yeah.
definitely help, Okay, anybody with any other questions or anything like that? All right, our next meeting is October 10th.
Will that be here?
I think so.
Yep, committee meetings, as far as I know, will remain here. County board is moving to the highway department. So Tuesday you'll report out to the highway, same place where we were last month.
Is that because it's working out better there? Did it work, but things?
I
work
had a
better?
lot of supervisors that really liked that setup a lot better.
Okay.
Sound wise, Jesse and I have a couple ideas to maybe make it better, but it might be what it is. Not that sound at the fairgrounds was,
You just don't want me walking there, you want me.
we want Jack to get his miles in. But yeah, I had quite a few supervisors that preferred it out there, and speaking with Chair Morak, that was the decision that we made.
I think it
And
worked.
Casey said he gave us his blessing, so.
Well, that's all our business. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn. Ted, let him do it.
We are adjourned.